Actually chatted with you for like 30 minutes when the movie came out in theaters.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's kind
Oh,
of
cool.
to be sitting down with you.
Nice, nice.
You have speed when you're ready.
All right, cool. All right, well, interestingly enough, I just saw Tron last night, and you guys have something in common. You actually shot your films in 3D, which is
Yes.
great, and as opposed to this whole post-conversion stuff. Talk about the limitations, or was it better for you shooting in 3D? Because I mean, some of these sequences are phenomenal, especially the
thank
Fred
you.
Astaire thing is
Thank
brilliant.
you.
Talk about as a director, is 3D harder to direct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different experience, very different. I mean, these cameras are huge. There's a lot of technical things that go along with it, whether it's syncing both left and right eye, and if one frame is off, it's off, and then they got to do some software things where it's not like film where you just shove the thing in and light gets on the emotion, you're good. This is very technical, and so every step of the way we're constantly thinking about that. But at the same time, it sort of opens our brains to ways to tell the story in different ways. With dance, you don't want to cut around a lot with 3D. With dance, you don't want to cut around a lot.
Right.
You want to see our dancers do their thing. So it actually plays to our advantage. We get to see the robot guy do his thing and just sit back and just watch him. When they're doing a duet, we get to spin around them and you get to feel the form of them together, which is a very different experience than 2D. So.
One thing I thought you did really well with this movie, you did a lot of great things, but I liked how the depth of field was there, but you also messed with the gimmick of 3D. I mean, like putting things in your face and the bubbles and the hands. What do you think? I mean, do you think that's a good balance? Because I like when filmmakers do both. Sometimes they just do the depth of field, or they just do the gimmickry of it. Like, I mean, how do you feel like on that in that realm?
Well, the cool thing about 3D is that it's just a new set of paints.
Right.
It's a new medium, and every filmmaker gets to play with it in the way they want to play with it. Some people will pull back, some people will throw it in your face. For our movie, it fit perfectly. For our movie, it was like, you know what? Our kids are paying $5 more for this. They have to work that extra hour at their
right.
Let's give it to them all. And plus, it was sort of the personality of our guys. Like once we turned that, we were able to turn the monitor on them and give them 3D glasses as they were dancing sometimes to see what they were doing, to feel it out. Immediately they went to that stuff, and it just was funny, and it had an energy about it. So we're like, let's not shy away from it just for like some sort of rule that we think. And we broke a lot of 3D rules in this movie, and for us it was like, listen, this is why we're here. We're on the forefront of this technology. We've got to sort of break the rules and try new things.
What do you mean by breaking the what rules?
I mean, there was a lot of people saying, well, you shouldn't do those gimmicky things anymore.
No,
you shouldn't throw
cool.
things at that camera. There are people saying, oh, you can't do long lens stuff because it just doesn't work in 3D, and we did it anyway. There's people who are saying, you can't, even for us, they were like, don't throw water on the lens because it's $1 million camera and you're going to ruin it, or dust like ruins the cameras like that. And for us, we're like, well, we got insurance, right?
Right.
Let's go. We're literally the kids in the candy store, and we broke all the things that James Cameron said not to do, we did. But that's the fun part, is that everyone felt like we were in film school again. From our crew who had done so many movies, they were suddenly, you could see the energy in their light, like, oh wait, 3D, that's totally different.
Right.
And I think that's really fun. I can't wait for other filmmakers to get in there and play with it more.
No, I love that. I was just watching the Blu-ray 3D just now before I came up here, and the water hitting the screen is so awesome. And it looks so cool on the DVD.
Really cool.
I have to bring up the Fred Astaire sequence. I mean, personally, that's one of my favorite scenes of the year. I see about 400 movies a year, so I'll never forget that sequence. And you actually, how many times did you shoot that? For people out there who don't know, it's like a 4-minute scene, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it's one take.
One take.
And they're just, they're walking through the streets, going over, trash cans. Yeah. Talk about like how many times it took you to shoot that. I mean, and what take did you end up using?
we did that one sequence all day long.
Right.
We actually didn't think we were going to get it in that day. I was like, the 15, 16-year-old dancers doing what Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly and Ginger Rogers are able to do, and we did it not on a back lot. We couldn't even close down the street. We had to have like other extras, like if someone walked on the street, to kind of block those other extras and walk in and be like, hey guys.
Extras blocking extras?
Extras blocking just pedestrians, really, who live on the street. And because the cameras are so big, we couldn't, it has to be wired in as well. So we have these giant wires that are woven in between the trees and through the cars, and then we have a whole army behind this camera that you don't see, and every gag had to be right. They had to, when they jumped into that trash can, it had to explode in the right way. When they sprayed them with water, it had to spray in the right way. And it took all day. We did 24 takes. We used take 18, which was like, I think the second one we actually were able to complete fully.
Right.
But it was one of those things where like, we know if we can get this, that we will remember. Maybe the audience at home won't understand what we did, but we will understand that we pushed it here. So.
Last question for you. You're doing the Justin Bieber movie. I know you've been asked this, but I mean, I will say this. This might sound a little bit weird. I was following you when you were doing Step Up 3D on Twitter.
Okay,
like
nice.
10,000 followers. And then you got on the Justin Bieber movie. Now you have like 150,000 followers or something like that.
Nuts.
I mean, talk about the impact this kid has. I mean, because it's unbelievable. And you shot his movie in 3D. What can we expect? Because I'm excited to see. I can't wait. I have no idea what to expect. I'm just looking forward to it.
It's fun. It's a really unique film. It's not a concert film. It's not a documentary. It's not a biopic. It's all sort of blended together, and I think that's it's fun, and the fact that it's in 3D.
The hair is in 3D.
The hair is in 3D. You get to see it in all its glory. But that's what's cool about 3D is that it can go in many different mediums, and Justin Bieber is just one of them, and dance is just one of them, and it communicates things in a different way. You get to be on that stage, even though you saw the concert, to have him look you in the eye when he's singing to you in front of 20,000 people, make you feel like you're standing on that stage, and everyone's cheering for you. It's a cool experience.
That's cool.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Well, thank you. Congratulations on the film.
Oh,
3D is
thank you.
phenomenal.
I appreciate
Pleasure
it.
meeting
Thank
you, man.